Sveiki prisijungę dalyvauti šios dienos seminare apie Lietuvos maisto produktų ir gėrimų eksportuotojų galimybės Jungtinių Arabų Emyratų rinkoje, kurį organizuojame kartu su Lietuvos Respublikos ambasada Jungtiniuose Arabų Emyratuose. Good morning to all Lithuanian attendees and to our honored speakers who joined today's webinar regarding UAE FMB market, organized by Lietuvos and the Embassy of the Republic of Lithuania to United Arab Emirates. So the UAE's FMB market, valued at around $30 billion, presents significant export potential, especially as the country relies heavily on imported products due to its limited local production. As the region's main business hub and a global re-export center, the UAE offers a strategic gateway to both Middle Eastern and North African markets. So today's webinar will guide Lithuanian companies in preparing for successful market entry, covering essential topics such as labeling, distribution, and Halal certification. It is an honor to introduce our speakers. His Excellency Ramūnas Davidonis, Ambassador of the Republic of Lithuania to the United Arab Emirates. Ms. Maryam Yusuf Mod Mahmoud Beswari, Senior Food Permit Officer at Dubai Municipality. Mr. Thomas Guerrero, Director at Halal Trade and Marketing Center. And Ms. Evina Žyžiūnaitė Albas, Agricultural and Commercial Attaché of the Republic of Lithuania in the United Arab Emirates. So let's start with the welcoming speech of the Ambassador of the Republic of Lithuania to the United Arab Emirates, His Excellency Ramūnas Davidonis. Welcome.
Yes, good. Warm welcome from Abu Dhabi. Good morning. Sabah al-Khair, labas rytas. First of all, I would like to thank Mr. Thomas Guerrero, the Director of Halal Trade and Marketing Center, for valuable collaboration and sharing the expertise of the UAE market. Thank you as well to Dubai Municipality representatives for sharing their knowledge with our producers and helping them to understand the market more confidently. And thank you, Irma, thank you, Litfood, for hosting us all today. I welcome Lithuanian food and beverage producers to learn more about UAE, one of the world's most dynamic food import markets, which has built a reputation as a regional hub, connecting business to the broader GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council, and MENA, Middle East and North Africa markets. And of course, I encourage audience to ask questions and think long-term. And we, Embassy, we are here to support your journey to UAE as high-quality, innovative, and reliable producers, because these features align well with the UAE's strategic goals in food security and diversification. Good luck to all of you. Shukran jazilan.
Sincerely appreciate Your Excellency's inspiring opening remarks. And now let me invite Ms. Maryam Yusuf Mod Mahmoud Beswari, Senior Food Permit Officer at Dubai Municipality, to give a presentation about the UAE labeling and registration processes for FMB products.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Maryam Shwari from the Permit and Registration section of the Food Safety Department. I'm a team leader of food item registration and label assessment teams. Today I will speak about the journey of food import to Dubai, highlighting key procedure, regulation, and services that ensure food safety and compliance. Dubai handles over 8 million tons of food import annually from different countries, with more than 23,000 food establishments in Dubai and over 30,000 trained food handlers. As a global hub for trade and innovation, Dubai has established itself as a leader in food safety and regulatory excellence, fostering a business environment where consumers have strong confidence in the quality, transparency, and safety of a food product available in the local market. We have over 1.3 million registered food items in the item catalog related to Dubai Municipality. In the first half of 2021 alone, food and beverage import were valued more than 22.7 million dirhams, These figures reflect the scale and importance of food safety and regulation in Emirates of Dubai. Here are the rule of food safety department in the Dubai municipality, which is our facilitating safe food trade, conducting routine inspection from our team to check safety of food establishments and safety of food products that have been sold in retail market, issuing permits and ensuring regulatory compliance, performing risk assessment and monitoring global trends. Dubai always on alert worldwide if there is any outbreak or withdraw product related to food. Finally, educating the community on food safety practices by providing training session and provide permit for training center and training. The import journey include 3 main steps. In the beginning, it's a company registration that the trader ensure a valid UAE trade license and register on the Dubai municipality website before to start importing or producing any food product. Secondly, products registration, that all product must be registered and assessed before imported to the country. The final procedure is import procedure, which is the trader need to be ensure all documents are ready for inspection at the port, and warehouse to avoid any delay for the shipment in the port. As a food registration and label assessment, we have 2 key services under this umbrella, which are the item registration and we have the label assessment. Item registration is mandatory for all food products. It's a free charge, and the item will be registered once in the system. This service also applicable to other Emirates. They can apply through ZAD. ZAD is a federal system in the level of the Emirates, so they can apply it. However, the second one, which is the label assessment, it's required for the product will go for food retail market, and it costs 7 dirham. Both services are you can access to apply on it. However, the label assessment it's required for the Dubai market only. For the definition of food labeling, as from our perspective, how we can see the food labeling, it is any tag, clarification, mark, picture or pictorial or other descriptive matter written, printed or stamped, engraved or imposed or impressed on the food package in which way they cannot be removed or detected from the original product. Food labeling is required for mostly, I can say, more than 90% of the food products such as bread, canned fruit, vegetable, frozen food, snack, dessert. What is the purpose of food item registration and label assessment? Without registration or doing the label assessment, the trader cannot import the food item. They cannot do the tests in the Dubai Central Lab, and also they cannot apply for export health certificate or selling this product in the retail market. So the trader need to be sure that these product register and assess before importing. We have 2 service locations, as I mentioned before. We have the Dubai Municipality portal and we have ZAD. Our service is 100% online. We don't need any physical product that need to be provided in the center to check if the registration or assessment. For food labeling standards are governed by 2 entities. The first one, which is the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, which is federal, and they are responsible to publish food related or other product standard. And also we have on level of Gulf country, which is the GCC standardization organization. Both of them are online stores, so the trader can purchase the standard from both of them. They are in 2 languages, Arabic and in English also. Here are the general food standards that are applicable on the most of the food products that the trader need to have a look on it to apply the requirement from it. We have the labeling requirement, nutritional information, health claims, and food additives. These are also the number for each standard. And maybe every 2 to 3 years they update the standard. The responsibility of the trader to check the website if there is any update on the standard or not. Also, there is other standards that also cover that need to be sure if it's halal, organic, GMO free, gluten free. If the product claim any of these logo or words related to this one, it should be applicable and need to have a look on this standard. Also, we have some products require the Emirates quality mark from the MOYAD, the ministry. So also the responsible of the trader to check with them if these products are applicable or not. And mostly the products are drinking water, energy drink, dairy product, and certain fruit-based beverage. Here I put a little bit of statistic from our system related to Lithuania. What is the number of the food product and what is the main or the major product that has been registered in our system. So basically the total number of products registered in our system is 1,517. I have classified the product as with our system, which is the most product that has been registered are from dairy group, 561, then the grain cereal come to 121, then finally the chocolate group, 197 product. So the customer journey starts in the beginning when the customer apply online through the DM portal or that portal. They will apply the food registration or label assessment. We only request the picture of the product and the images, the packaging image, to apply online. The consignee need to be wait until the approval. Once they get the approval, they will receive an email that notifies that your product has been approved. Consignee need to check if the product has any remark on the certificate or not. If not, they can import the product. If there is any amendment remark mentioned in the certificate, they need to amend based on this remark. For the imported product, these are the imported documents that needed to have it before import the item to the country. The health certificate, it should be from authorized government entitled from the country of origin. Halal certificate, packing lists. If there is any other certificate needed, such as halal, GMO, organic or pork-free diet, or radiation, it depends. For the halal health certificate, a document is issued by the authorized body from the country of origin to indicate the fitness for human consumption, which is required. These are the information that need to be declared in the health certificate requirement and approved by Food Safety Department here. And be sure that the original certificate must be submitted to the inspector when the shipment arrives at the port. For the halal certificate requirement, it's the same. It's a document that confirms that the product meets halal requirement as per the Islamic Sharia and issued by halal certification bodies approved in the UAE. We have a list for the approved bodies from the country of origin, depends on the item. And this all the information also need to be declared on the halal certificate requirement. It is also required to provide the original certificate in the port when the shipment arrived. Here you can find the list for the halal certification body. We have from the MOYA, the ministry, we have from the IAC, and we have from the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment regarding halal approval bodies. And here's our contacts for the registration. We have our emails, and if you have any inquiry regarding the shipment, the certificate required, or any other related document for imported, there is email, and there is our landline to check and if you have any inquiry related to food and importing. And thank you so much.
So now I would like to invite our next honored speaker, Mr. Thomas Guerrero, the director of the Halal Trade and Marketing Center in Dubai, where he leads the initiative to position Dubai as a global hub for halal trade, offering strategic support and market intelligence to connect international producers with the growing halal economy. Yeah.
So let's start with the presentation, talking about the halal legal framework. So please, next. Yeah, next. Here on the screen, first of all, we have a clear definition for the halal concept. As you can see here, halal is an Arabic term meaning lawful as per the Islamic law. So when we talk about the halal economy, we are talking about all those economic sectors affected by the Islamic law, such as food, that must be halal, finance, that must be Sharia compliance, or fashion, that must be modest. Well, once we have a clear idea about the meaning of this Arabic term, now we will talk about the regulatory bodies for the halal market. So please, next. Well, before going through the regulatory bodies for the halal market, it's also important to talk about the halal certification itself. We saw the definition for this concept, and now I will use some minutes to explain how the halal certificate works in the F&B space. Because most of the time we think that the halal certification is mandatory, is needed for all types of F&B products, and that's not true. As you can see here on the screen, we have some F&B categories where the products, let's say, are halal by default or by nature. So on the left, we have those products that are halal by default or by nature. So for fruits, vegetables, cereals, fish, or nuts, we don't need the halal certification. If we want to export these F&B products to the United Arab Emirates or to other Muslim majority countries, you don't need to get the halal certificate in advance. If you export them as a raw material, as a bulk, without any, let's say, transformation, you can do it without the halal certificate. So for these particular F&B categories where the products are halal by nature or by default, the halal certification is not needed, okay? Then on the right, we have those F&B categories where the halal certification is mandatory or compulsory. We talk basically about two categories. We are talking about meat and meat-based products, and then about processed food items. Here in the UAE, we are only demanding the halal certification for meat and meat-based products. For processed food items, is something good to have, and the importers can, let's say, demand the halal certificate from you. But from the regulation point of view today, and here we have two standards for regulating F&B from the halal perspective. We will talk about them later on. From that point of view, from the legal point of view, the halal certificate is only needed for meat and meat-based products here in the United Arab Emirates. For the processed food items such as dairy, sweets, snacks, and so on, the halal certification is not needed, but it's something good to have. And as I said, sometimes, or most of the times, the importers, the distributors, and the retailers are the one also demanding this particular certification for this kind of F&B products. So that's what we have here in the United Arab Emirates. By the way, for other countries, for other Muslim majority countries, the halal certification is mandatory for meat and meat-based, but also for the remaining processed food items. Okay, so here, let's say in the United Arab Emirates, we have, let's say, an exception, because for the processed food items, the standard is there, the UAE 255, but at the end of the day, we are not forcing yet the companies, the producers for these processed food items to obtain or get in advance a halal certificate, a valid one, for being able to export the products to the UAE. So only for meat and meat-based products, the halal certification is needed here in the United Arab Emirates. So once we have also a clear idea about this, now, yeah, we will talk about the regulatory bodies. So please, next. Well, we saw the definition. We were talking about when the halal certification is needed, and now we will go through the regulatory bodies. Well, when we look at the halal market, we find three types of regulatory bodies. First of all, in the Muslim majority countries, such as the United Arab Emirates, we have the halal standardization bodies. They are the organizations in charge of elaborating the rules, the standards. They are the ones coming with the requirements. They are the ones regulating this particular business niche in their home countries. Then, also, in the Muslim majority countries, we have the halal accreditation bodies. They are the ones in charge of auditing and approving the certifiers, not the producers. They are the ones auditing if the halal certification bodies have or not the technical and religious capabilities for being able to audit producers, to provide producers with the halal certificate. And finally, we have the certifiers. We have the halal certification bodies. They are private companies. You can find them in the Muslim majority countries, but also in the non-Muslim ones. And they are, as you probably know, the ones auditing and providing the companies with the halal certificate. They are the ones checking if the producers are able or not to produce goods or provide services according to the existing halal standards. So we have today more than 400 halal certification bodies across the world. Some of them, as we will see later on, are based in your home country in Lithuania. So these are the bodies, let's say, regulating this fast-growing market. So please, next. Well, before going through the slide for the UAE Halal legal framework, I want to highlight something. I want to say something relevant for all of you. We will see the business, the opportunities later on. And as you probably know, this market is huge, it's growing so fast. Basically, it's plenty of business opportunities, but at the same time, it's a bit challenging. Why? Because as you saw, we don't have a global halal standard. We have different rules, different authorities for regulating the same market across the 57 Muslim majority countries. So here on the screen, you have some of the most important halal standards today. So that fragmentation from the regulation point of view is making this market a bit challenging, even when it's plenty of business opportunities. Why? Because basically the companies, the producers, the F&B ones, those based on non-Muslim countries, they are sometimes lost, or they don't have a clear idea about the regulation for this particular market, because each country, let's say, has its own approach or its own regulation. So that's why we are here at the Halal Trade and Marketing Center. We are guiding, we are helping the producers from all over the world to understand this market and find a way to navigate this complexity. So please, next. Now, as I said a few seconds ago, we will talk about the United Arab Emirates Halal legal framework and regulation. Here on the screen, we have one slide with many authorities, many logos. So I will try to explain why. So basically, as you can see here on the screen, we have different lines. So I will go line by line explaining to you those organizations and the roles in the UAE Halal legal framework. So first of all, we have one line for the Halal standardization bodies. Here in the UAE, in the United Arab Emirates, we have one Halal standardization body. The Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, MOIAD, is our Halal standardization body. And they came with two particular Halal standards for regulating F&B products. We have the UAE 993 for regulating meat and poultry, and then we have the UAE 255, as I said a few minutes ago, for regulating processed food items. So MOIAD, the Ministry of Industry and Advanced Technology, is our national Halal standardization body. They are the ones elaborating the Halal standards for the UAE. But as you can see here on the screen, we have more logos here. Why? Basically because UAE today is part of the GCC as well as part of the OIC, the Organization for the Islamic Cooperation. Both the GCC as well as the OIC came with Halal standards for regulating the F&B sector. And because UAE is part of the GCC as well as part of OIC, we have to accept, we have also to recognize the Halal standards coming from the GCC Standardization Organization. Is the Halal standardization body for the 6 Arab nations here, for the entire GCC, as well as we have to accept and recognize the Halal standards coming from SMIC or CIMIC, the Halal standardization arm for the 57 OIC countries or members. But at the end of the day, and that's the most important thing to know, the applicable Halal standards for the UAE are the national ones, the local ones, those coming from MOIAD. But the other ones, those coming from the GCC Standardization Organization as well as from CIMIC, are there and are also, let's say, valid. But the applicable ones are the national ones, the MOIAD one. Then let's talk about the second line. Here on the second line, we can see the logos for the Halal accreditation bodies. Here in the UAE, we have 2 Halal accreditation bodies. One here in Dubai, EYAC, the Emirates International Accreditation Center, but we also have another one in Abu Dhabi, INAS, the Emirates National Accreditation System. Both are federal entities, and both, at the end of the day, are, let's say, providing the same service. So EYAC and INAS are the bodies approving the Halal certifiers here in the United Arab Emirates, but also outside, also abroad. So EYAC and INAS are the bodies, the Halal accreditation bodies, approving the Halal certifiers, looking for issuing valid Halal certificate for those companies trying to export to the UAE. Okay, and then we have also the GCC Accreditation Center. Same idea. UAE is part of the GCC. So here in the United Arab Emirates, we also have to accept the Halal certificates coming from certifiers accredited by the GCC Accreditation Center. Okay. Then we have the third line with only 2 logos. Here we have the certifiers, the Halal certification bodies accredited by EYAC, INAS, or the GCC Accreditation Center in Lithuania. So you are lucky because in Lithuania today you have 2 Halal certification bodies approved by the United Arab Emirates. We are talking about the World Halal Trust and Halal Food Authority. These 2 are the only ones approved by the Halal authorities here in the United Arab Emirates for issuing valid Halal certificate for F&B companies in Lithuania looking for exporting their products to the country, to the UAE. Okay, so you have two options in the country to obtain a valid halal certificate for the United Arab Emirates. And then finally, we have the fourth line. Here we have the UAE national brand or logo. So basically, this is a marketing tool, and it's not mandatory. Basically, if you want to have a nice or fancy halal logo on top of your products, you can get the license from MOIAT also in order to be able to market or promote your halal certified products under the umbrella of this UAE halal brand. But as I said, it's not mandatory, it's up to you. So this is the halal legal framework here in the United Arab Emirates. Before going through the next section, I want to say something. This is the, let's say, picture for the UAE. In Saudi Arabia or in Qatar, we have a different game. We have a different legal framework. So that means that you have to check before exporting to these countries here in the GCC if your certifier is accredited or approved by the halal authorities in the, let's say, target market. Because maybe you can get, let's say, the halal certification from, let's say, Halal or Halal Trust in Lithuania. If you do that, you are safe if you want to export to the UAE, but maybe this certifier is not approved or accredited by the halal authorities in all the Muslim majority countries. So you have to check twice that before exporting your products to any single Muslim majority countries. Because here you have the certifiers approved or accredited for the United Arab Emirates. In other countries, in the other Muslim countries, maybe they are not approved or they are not recognized, and you have other certifiers approved by them in Lithuania or in other countries in the European Union. Okay, so having said that, let's move on now to the next section, please. Well, we just finalized the halal legal framework section, and now we will talk about the market, and we will start with the drivers or factors explaining the halal market growth today. So when we look at the halal F&B market, we find three drivers, three factors, three reasons explaining why the halal market, why this business mix is growing so fast today. Well, first of all, we have a demographic dividend. You have the slide in front of you. When we talk about the halal F&B market, we are talking about 1.9 billion people. We are talking about the 25% of the total population. And according to the latest estimation, as you can see here, in 2030, the Muslim population will be reaching 2.2 billion people. So we have a large and fast-growing population. So meaning that every single day, we have more and more halal F&B consumers. So this is the first reason or factor explaining the success of the halal F&B market today. Next, please. But it's not only about the Muslim population growth. It's also about the economic growth of the Muslim majority countries. Here in front of us, we have the second argument or the second driver. When we look at the halal F&B market or the halal market, we find 57 Muslim majority countries, right? And when we analyze them from the economic point of view, we find emerging markets. We find some of the countries leading the economic growth today. We are talking about the global south. So that economic growth is, at the end of the day, empowering the Muslim population. And thanks to that, today, the Muslim consumers have, let's say, more resources to import, to buy halal F&B products. They are gaining buying power every single day, every single year. So that's another reason to explain the growth of the halal market today. And finally, please, next. We have another factor. We can also highlight that thanks to the economic growth in the Muslim majority countries, today we can find middle classes in many Muslim majority countries. And same idea, those middle classes are gaining buying power and they have more, let's say, resources to buy halal F&B products. So these three factors that we saw are the ones, as I said, explaining the growth, explaining the success of the halal market today. Please, next. Now, before going through a section to talk about the halal F&B sector, I want to share with you an overview with all the halal related sectors in order to say something. Out of the halal F&B space, you also have business opportunities. Today, we will be not talking about halal cosmetics, halal tourism, or modest fashion, but as you can see here, there are other sectors where the halal certification is needed or is good to have, and you can, let's say, make money, you can do business. So here we have the numbers, the data for all the halal related sectors in 2022. And in the next slide, please, we have almost the same slide, but here we can see the forecast, the estimation, the projections for the same halal related sectors. And as you can see here, all of them will be growing so fast in the next few years. Why? Basically, because we have those macro drivers that we saw boosting all these halal related sectors. If we look at the slide, we can see that, for example, in the halal F&B space, we are talking that this particular halal related sector will be moving from $1.4 trillion in 2022 to $1.8 trillion in 2027. But same happens with the remaining halal related sector. Why? As I said, because we have those strong drivers behind the growth or boosting this market across the world. Next, please. Now we have the, let's say, most important section. We will talk about the business opportunities in the halal F&B sector. Here we have again an overview, but for this particular business needs, I already said in 2022, the Muslim population spent $1.4 trillion on halal F&B products. So as you can see on the chart, on the ranking, we are talking at the other day about the second largest F&B market in the world today. And sometimes when I'm traveling across the world and I'm going to some non-Muslim countries, I'm still finding producers that they are, let's say, not aware of this. They think the halal market is only for meat and for the Arab world, but as you can see here today, we are talking about something much bigger. So please, next. Now we have in front of us a ranking with the key consumers of halal F&B products. If you check the ranking, you will see many Muslim majority countries, and it's clear there is a relation between the population size of the countries and the expenditure made by their nationals on halal F&B products. For that reason, countries such as Indonesia, Egypt, or Bangladesh are the ones leading this ranking. But having said that, I want to take advantage of this ranking to highlight another thing. If you check this ranking in detail, you will find some non-Muslim countries such as US, China, Germany, or France. Why? Because they have growing and significant Muslim populations. So if you get the halal certification, of course, you will be able to export to the UAE as well as to other Muslim majority countries, but at the same time, you will be able to find, let's say, new opportunities for your products in your traditional markets. Why? Because the Muslim population, as we saw, is also growing in the non-Muslim countries. In the European Union, we already have almost 60 million Muslim people, and they are, of course, demanding and consuming halal F&B products. So the halal certification will be also a good tool for you, not only for your internationalization, also for selling more, let's say, locally or inside the European Union. Next, please. Well, we already saw, let's say, enough arguments to believe in the power of the halal F&B sector, but when we talk about this particular business needs, there is another reason or factor that we have to take into consideration. Well, when we analyze the Muslim majority countries from the F&B point of view, we find many net importers. We are talking about countries importing almost everything from the F&B perspective. For example, here in the GCC countries, we are importing the 85% in average of the F&B product that we are consuming. That means that almost everything is coming from abroad. We don't have today the possibility of, let's say, cover our internal demand. We can't produce F&B products locally, and it's so obvious, the lack of water, the weather. So there are strong reasons to, let's say, understand that we can produce locally the F&B product that we need on a regular basis. So because of that, we have to, let's say, go to the market, go abroad and import the F&B product. So this is something very interesting because Lithuania is a powerhouse from the F&B point of view, and you have quality products as well as products with competitive prices. So if you get the halal certification, you can become a relevant, let's say, supplier, for example, for the countries here in the GCC, starting with the United Arab Emirates. As I said, we are importing everything or almost everything. So this is another, let's say, wake-up call in order to consider this business opportunity. Next. Now we will go through the final slide. We are finalizing our presentation, but before finalizing the presentation, I want to show you what we already said. Here we have the GCC dairy market. We already saw on the Dubai municipality presentation that Lithuania is exporting dairy products to the United Arab Emirates, right? And it's one of our, let's say, key sectors there. Well, here you have on the screen the dairy market here in the GCC. So on the screen we have two charts. On the left we have the GCC main dairy importers. So as you can see here, the GCC countries are mobilizing every single year big amount of money to import halal or dairy products, let's say. So here we have Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, UAE, Oman, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Qatar. And you can see, let's say, the money, the volume they mobilize to import dairy product. But when we look at on the main dairy exporters to the GCC today, we find basically that the European countries are the main suppliers of dairy products for our countries in the GCC. New Zealand is there, but if you go through the ranking, you will find Netherlands, Denmark, Germany, France, Poland, but Lithuania is not still there. And maybe it's because of the halal certification. As I said, for processed food item is not mandatory, but it's good to have. And we have been working with producers of dairy products, for example, in Germany or Netherlands, and all of them, they are already Halal certified, and they are using the Halal certification as a marketing tool, as a tool to differentiate themselves from their competitors. So think twice about that, because it's not only about, let's say, meeting or complying with the Halal standards, if needed. It's also about using Halal as a tool for marketing or promoting your product. So, well, that's all from my side. I hope you found the presentation useful. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, please feel free to share. Well, we have here before leaving the same for meat. It's something similar, but we have different, let's say, suppliers. But I think we don't have to go through explaining almost the same, because, as I said, it's about understanding that we are importing everything or almost everything. Our main suppliers are, let's say, non-Muslim countries where the companies got the Halal certification, a valid one, in order to be able to penetrate our market. So, well, that's all, as I said, from my side. Thank you so much for your time, and happy to answer your questions, if any. Thank you so much.
So how long does the product registration process typically take in the UAE? And are there any common challenges or delays that foreign manufacturers should prepare for?
For registration, it takes 1 working days, and for label assessment, it takes 5 working days. Sometimes, yes, during the season, we have a huge request on the system. It may delay for the registration 2 to 3 days.
Okay. So what is the high season? Which time of the year is the season?
Usually, it will be before Ramadan. We have when we have Christmas, Easter, Eid, this season.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dear Thomas, a question to you. So what are the main differences between voluntary and mandatory Halal certification in the UAE?
Well, we saw a particular slide for that. So as I said, let's say in the Muslim majority countries, we have categories, as we saw, where the halal, where the products are halal by nature. If they are, let's say, exported as a raw material, we were going through those categories of products: fruits, vegetables, fish, cereals, nuts, legumes. So you can export them without the Halal certification. And then we have always, let's say, 2 standards for forcing producers from the FME point of view to comply with the Halal standards: meat and poultry, and then processed food, right? But here in the UAE, we are only demanding the Halal certificate for the meat and meat-based producers. For the processed food items, even when it's mandatory in the remaining Muslim majority countries, even when we already have a particular standard, the UAE 25.5, for regulating these products, we are not forcing, we are not demanding the Halal certificate yet for dairy, sweets, snacks, beverages, and the remaining processed food goods or items. So here in the United Arab Emirates, thinking about mandatory or compulsory is meat and meat-based.
Thank you so much. And also, dear Thomas, a question to you. Maybe you can share your thoughts. So which halal certified food categories currently show the highest demand or supply gaps in the UAE? So maybe how can Lithuanian producers align their product development? Yeah.
That's a very good, let's say, point or question. First of all, we saw that we are importing everything, or almost everything. That means that you can find opportunities for all types, almost all types of FME products. But today, natural and organic products are booming. Non-alcoholic beverages are also in demand. Meat and meat-based, it's a big thing. It's a big category. We are importing the 90% of the beef and lamb that we are consuming. So meat and meat-based still remains as a very important, let's say, sector. Then alternative dairy products are also growing. We are cooperating with producers in Europe as well as in other parts of the world, producing, let's say, Halal certified alternative dairy products and, let's say, Halal healthy F&B items are also now growing. So yeah, even when we have, let's say, opportunities for almost everything, those, let's say, particular areas or sectors are the most important ones today.
I would like to welcome to our virtual stage Ms. Evina Albas, our Agricultural and Commercial Attaché of the Republic of Lithuania and the United Arab Emirates, to give a closing remarks about today's topic. Evina, please.
Hello to all of you, and the questions never stop. They will start flowing after the webinar, after the reflection has been made, on so many invaluable information received. So I'd like to thank to attendees who tuned in today. And especially thank you for the precious collaboration to Halal Trade and Marketing Center, dear Thomas, as well as Dubai Municipality, dear Miriam, for the knowledge shared, useful links as well spoken of. I think we all can agree that Dubai is one, or UAE is one of the most dynamic and competitive, but also opportunity-rich markets worldwide, and its population is rapidly growing. By 2034, it is expected that the population of the UAE will reach up to 12 million residents, and the FMCG market overall, the value will reach as well of $38 billion. So UAE market is very fast-paced, although highly competitive, and I think requiring a lot of homework to do, as well as thorough preparation, as well as clear entry strategy. And today we learned from Thomas that Halal certificate is not just another regulatory requirement, but also can be a key to building trust with the partners and credibility with potential future consumers. So when it comes to introducing products to new markets, especially UAE, it's advisable to do a thorough research, and as well to conduct not just once a year or twice in a couple of years market visits, because only the company owner, company buyer can evaluate if the product that they are trying to introduce into the market will be a right fit for the consumers and for the country itself. And me, together with our small, although very ready to support you team at the Embassy of Lithuania in the UAE, we are ready to join the forces and help our best to introduce you to the right stakeholders, to the distributors, to position Lithuanian F&B products as best as we can. And there were some questions received regarding the excise tax, which I shared the links for your consideration in the chat. And please do not hesitate to reach out to me via LinkedIn or via email. I'll do my best to support you in this tough, but as mentioned, opportunity-rich journey.
Thank you, Evina, for an excellent wrap-up. And as we are running out of time, so once again, I would like to express my sincere thanks to everyone for being here. His Excellency Ramūnas Davidonis, Ms. Mariam Yusuf Mahmoud Beswari, Mr. Thomas Guerrero, to you, Ivina, of course, and just to be informed that presentations and the record of the webinar will be shared tomorrow, and all information about our upcoming events can be found at Lietuvos website and LinkedIn account. And Lietuvos team wishes you a great day and a joyful upcoming holiday season.